So it's a compliments of the new season. It's a happy new year, happy 2022. It's a new year, new everything, new settings, new resolutions, and new beginnings. My name is Washington Sibanda, aka Marasta. This is your weekly SIQALO podcast, where we are going to be talking about sports, entertainment, and social life in general, covering all the top stories all around the world. So today, on the 8th of January, being the first weekend of January, we are going to be looking at the Africa Cup of Nations that is kickstarting in Cameroon on Sunday, the 9th of January. Quite a lot is expected, quite an interesting fixtures, and the Zimbabwe Warriors raising the nation's flag high, participating in their sixth appearance in the Africa Cup of Nations. So joining me today is a former Bantu Rovers player and current Las Palmas academy coach, Graham Ndebele, who's going to help me today to discuss and dissect and also analyze the groups, the AFCON groups, and also possible tell us whom you think which team he thinks is going to be crowned the champions come the 6th of February. So Graham Ndebele, it's a warm welcome to our first episode of SIQALO podcast. AFCON is beckoning, and the Zimbabwe Warriors are participating in their sixth appearance. What can we expect?
Compliments of the new season, Mr. Washi. It's a pleasure being here with you. It's such a huge showcase which we're anticipating, and we're anticipating a lot of fireworks, especially with the new teams coming up after the soccer thing has been frozen up by this pandemic. It has been a gloomy environment, especially for the soccer family, and we are hoping and very, very much in anticipation that this edition is going to bring forth a huge impact, especially on our youngsters and even on our stars. And having our own Warriors participating in this edition is such it brings its worth even unto us as Zimbabweans, as we are rallying behind our own nation. We are most likely we are going to face one of the giants in Africa, which is Senegal, and I believe that our Warriors also are not one of the pushovers, especially in this edition. We are going there to compete, not just to add a number, because the journey hasn't been pleasant. Especially the qualifying journey, it hasn't been pleasant, and I believe that the squad, the technical, and everyone knows what's expected of them even in this edition.
Indeed, quite interesting. We are expecting fireworks and just like what Grema has just said. I remember the AFCON was supposed to be have been held in 2021, that is last year, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic that wreaked havoc, the AFCON was moved to 2022, and Cameroon are hosting this year's edition. This is going to be the 33rd edition, by the way, and coming into this tournament, Cameroon being the host, obviously they carry that favorite take. They're also being counted as the favorites, and also Algeria being the defending champions. I remember they beat Senegal in the last edition in 2019. So Ndebele, just looking at the groups, looking at Group A, you've got your Cameroon, you've got your Burkina Faso, you've got your Ethiopia and Cape Verde. Which of the teams from the look of this group, which of the teams would you say for you, or you feel like they're going to make it into the next round?
I believe Cameroon has that huge advantage, especially playing on the home soil. I think they are well much motivated, especially having Samuel Eto'o even behind them. They've got those stars. So for the second round, I'm pretty much sure that Cameroon, they're going to make that impact. They are rallying on the services of Andre Onana and Vincent Obubakar. Those guys, I'm sure that if they do step up in this edition, they're going to see Cameroon to the next round. So they are not that much of a powerhouse, though, according to me. But I'm seeing them progressing because of that home advantage, and if they do know what to play for, especially in that homeland, I believe they can sail through. And then looking at Burkina Faso, yes, they've got Bertrand Traore, the Aston Villa man. I think the whole responsibility will lie upon him. if he manages to click up and carries the flag for the Bukanabe, I'm sure they can so to pose a threat. But my main look is at the Cape Verde, because the Cape Verde is one small nation, and I believe that is going to pull a surprise, especially on this group. I'm putting and banking my money on them going through to the second round.
So quite interesting there, and obviously Cameroon, they are the hosts. Remember, they won the cup in 2017, but unfortunately in the 2019 edition they were knocked out in the first round. So they'll want to redeem themselves on home soil. And also for Burkina Faso, they lost. In 2013 they lost in the final, so they'll be wanting to prove a point and probably try and go for the big one this time around. And also Ndebele, now moving to the interesting group now, which is Group B, where we've got the Zimbabwe Warriors, there is Senegal, there is Zimbabwe the Warriors, there is Guinea and Malawi. Not a good run of form for the Zimbabwe Warriors going into this the Nations Cup, and also uncertainty over their participation due to the ongoing issue that is going on between SRC and ZIFA. And how much of an impact is it on the players going into such a big tournament for the Zimbabwean Warriors?
I believe we have had issues, especially with our ZIFA SRC and that intervention. But I believe the way the SRC has handled the situation right now, I'm sure that the morale and the mood at the camp is very, very much high. As we have seen on paper that they have been given a couple of allowances, and I believe that that's the if you manage to have that harmony and high spirits in camp, I'm very much sure that that will motivate the guys to even push further. And that is why I'm even saying that even the Warriors they're going to upset even this group. I know this group has a lot of favorites. We might write them off, but I won't write them off fully, because the guys have got all to play for.
Looking at this group, in particular the Senegal versus Zimbabwe match, obviously Senegal, they are the team that lost in the final in the last edition, that was in 2019, losing to Algeria by a goal to nil. But going into this tournament, they've had a good record. They'll be counting on the likes of Sadio Mane and Mendy, the goalkeeper for Chelsea. And looking at Zimbabwe on the other end, Marvelous Nakamba missing out, and also the likes of Kama Billiard calling it quits, are retiring. Between these two teams, which side will to say has got the quality and has got the players that are going to help them actually get a favorable result in the opening match?
Senegal has got a good squad, especially on paper. But the main worry about Senegal is if those players they fail to click up, then that's when their Achilles tendon will be. For I believe they've got a good squad, especially their spine. Their spine is so awesome. We've got Mendy in goals. We've got Koulibaly. We've got Kouye. I think their spine is not easily penetrable. So I believe it's going to be a hassle for the Warriors, but especially with the missing Nakamba and the retired Kama Billiard. But it's also a good opportunity for those other guys for them to lift up, at least pose a name, and let them see. We see what they really have. So if they do step up, at least we try and neutralize, especially Senegal's attack, because it's one of the main focus, which is going to give the Warriors a hard time. So if we have our defenders stable and we manage to contain the Sadio Mane, I think we're going to have a chance.
So quite interesting. Wait to see whether the likes of Bruce Kangwa, the likes of Prince Dube and Tino Kadewere are going to carry the day for the Zimbabwean Warriors. But not writing off the likes of Guinea, who are going to be led by Nabi Keita, the Liverpool midfielder. And also Malawi, they've been coming so good, doing so well, being one of the Southern region teams that is representing the region in this 33rd edition of the Africa Cup of Nations. Moving into Group C, and we have got Morocco, Ghana, Comoros and Gabon. Another interesting one there. But I think for me, Morocco and Ghana, those are the two teams whom I feel like probably they've got an easy passage to the next round.
Morocco and Ghana, they carry a huge edge, but I won't write Gabon as well. Gabon is being led by their captain Aubameyang, and he's been scoring for fun. And if he finds those goals, he can sail and take Gabon up also.
But quite interesting looking at maybe first of all Morocco versus Ghana. Morocco missing out on Ziyech. We heard that due to disciplinary issues, the coach deciding to drop him. Do you think it was a good idea to drop a player of that caliber, and won't it come back to bite the coach? Say Morocco don't do well in this tournament?
I'm sure the coach showed a lot of backbone. That's what most of our coaches will lack. As a coach, you have a way how you work. You have got your own philosophy, and if the player doesn't adhere to that philosophy, I'm pretty much sure that the coach made the right decision by dropping him. If his conduct wasn't okay for the team, it was going to be toxic even for the entire team. So I believe leaving him, in as much as it was going to make a huge impact, but leaving him out, I think it sends a wake-up call even to the Gabon, to everyone. Every player, even our youngsters watching at home, that the way you conduct yourself can easily cost you your future ahead.
Indeed, the coach there setting proving that he is the man that is in charge, dropping Ziyech there. So for Ghana, we are going into this tournament. They haven't won this cup since 1982, so it's going to be interesting whether this time around they're going to do well. Obviously, we'll be counting on the likes of Jordan Ayew and Thomas Partey, who plays for Arsenal. Then for Gabon, we are going into this one, just like what Kramer said, they are not pushovers, but it's quite interesting because Pierre Aubameyang tested positive for COVID-19, so he's going to miss the first match that they're going to play against Comoros. So wait to see whether Gabon they're going to do well against Comoros, even though they'll be missing their captain. And moving on into another interesting one, Group D, group of death. One will say there is Nigeria, there is Egypt, there is Sudan, and Guinea-Bissau. Nigeria and Egypt, those are the two sides. They've done well, the two giants in Africa. Would you say that those are the two teams that are going to have an easy passage to the next round, and would you say that they are favorites to go for the big one?
Definitely, I'll put my money on them. Definitely, I'll put my money on them. Especially on the Egyptians, the Pharaohs. I'm sure their squad comprises mostly of the local based and a couple of foreign based, and they are bond and all. I'm sure I'll put my money on those.
So quite interesting. Egypt, will be definitely counting on the likes of Mohamed Salah and Mohamed Sherif, the one who plays for Ali Ali. Egypt not doing so well in the last edition, that was in 2019, losing out in the round of 16, losing out to South Africa by a goal to nil. So this time around they'll be looking at doing better and probably going to win their 8th title. And for Nigeria, they just fired their coach just before the beginning of the kickstart of this tournament that is in Cameroon. So a new coach is in charge, and how much of an impact having a coach who helps you to qualify, then just 2 weeks before the tournament kicks off, you show him the door. Do you think the Nigerian FA did justice there?
That as well might be a setback to the Nigerians, considering on the philosophies which the coach is going to take. It will be okay if they follow the same philosophy, but if that one also is another philosophy, it's going to be a huge setback, especially for the Nigerians. So they just have to come out strong, especially character-wise as players, and get this thing home.
Indeed, Nigeria counting on the likes of Kelly Iheanacho and Akpe, the goalkeeper for Kaizer Chiefs, and also looking at the likes of Alex Iwobi. Those are some of the players that Nigeria will be counting on. And also Sudan and Guinea-Bissau, obviously underdogs, but they will also have a shout there. Moving on into the next one, which is Group E, which has got the defending champions, that is Algeria. There's also Sierra Leone, Equatorial Guinea, and Ivory Coast. Obviously Algeria, they are the favorites. Riyad Mahrez are leading the team, but Ivory Coast, they've got the likes of Wilfred Zaha, one of the favorites for me as well. Do you think that in this group, Algeria, they're just going to have it easy, and do you think they stand a chance of defending it?
I'm sure Algeria is to push because recently they are crowned the FIFA Arab Cup champions, and they've gone something like a 34 match winning streak, and it hasn't been broken as yet. So I believe they are in good mood, and they are in so very much good form, and they're just compact, especially when they play. And I'm tipping them to go all the way even to the semi-finals.
Quite interesting. They are tipping them to go all the way to the semi-finals, and maybe just to put you on the spot, if they are going to the semi-finals, which two teams for you do you think they are going to be in the final on the 6th of February?
One of them is going to be Algeria for me, and the other probably between Ivory Coast or Senegal.
Indeed. So Senegal in Group B and Ivory Coast in Group E. So looking at the last group, that is Group F, it has got Tunisia, there is Mali, there is Mauritania and Gambia. An average group, a balanced one, but Tunisia obviously have done so well in Africa, so is Mali, but there isn't much to talk about when it comes to Mauritania and Gambia, and coming in as underdogs in this group. I think for me as well, Tunisia and Mali, two sides that for me I feel like they're going to have an easy passage. Do you share the same sentiments?
Yes, Tunisia and Mali, they are going to take us there, but now considering the fact that those four teams to get there, it took them a mountain to climb. So I won't rule them, especially in soccer. And this is seemingly an open group. It's an open group because the little knowns, they're going to spoil the party, especially looking at the Gambia. It's their first AFCON, and I believe one of the teams is going to cry foul after Gambia has spoiled the party for them.
So quite interesting. There are a lot of underdogs, Gambia, Mauritania, Comoros, being one those teams that everyone is not tipping, but they might actually go all the way because they are playing with no pressure at all. They're just going there just to participate, unlike the likes of Senegal, the likes of Egypt, whom everyone is expecting to do it. Just to give our viewers some statistics for the 2019 edition going into the 2022 edition. In the last edition, we saw 52 games that were played. Then we saw a total of 102 goals that were scored. And SIQALO of Nigeria was the top goal scorer with 5 goals. So Ndebele, do you think that this time around we're going to see goals galore? We are going to elapse the 1 or 2 goals that were scored in the last edition? And also looking at the top goal scorer, he scored 5 goals in the last edition. Do you feel like this time around we've got the players that can actually score even more?
I'm sure with looking at the form which the players have, especially in their clubs, they've been scoring for fun. So I'm sure that this time around we're gonna surpass the 102 which we had last edition. And having 5 goals for a striker, especially in such a tournament for us, it doesn't speak much of a volume, especially when it comes to our football and our strikers and how we're attacking. I believe if we let every game be an open game and not a defensive game, I believe we can surpass even this 102.
Isn't so? We are expecting goals galore. So the AFCON kicking off on the 9th of January, and the first match we'll see Cameroon playing host to Burkina Faso at 1800 hours. Then we're going to have Ethiopia playing Cape Verde. Then on the following day we're going to have Senegal playing Zimbabwe. Then also Guinea will host Malawi. Then we're also going to have Morocco versus Ghana. That one an interesting one, a blockbuster indeed. Then we're also going to have Comoros playing Gabon. Then the big one that also everyone is expecting, Nigeria playing Egypt. Then there's also Sudan and Guinea-Bissau. Then Algeria will kick off with a match against Sierra Leone, looking at defending that cup that they won in 2019, that is Algeria. Then we're also going to have Equatorial Guinea playing Ivory Coast. Then Tunisia will play Mali. Then Mauritania will play Gambia. So these are some of the opening upcoming matches that you can expect starting from the 9th of January. Maybe on a lighter note, and we hear that in Cameroon, everyone is anticipating to see good football and watch football. Everyone is running around. Everyone, even those that are in business, they're doing all they can to try and boost their business. And the Thai ladies, I will call them, we hear that they've raised, they've hiked the prices for their services. Obviously, taking advantage of the tournament in Cameroon to try and boost their business in the valley.
Business is blooming everywhere. You get such a huge gathering, everyone just thinks of business. So business is blooming everywhere. They are in business, but there is nothing we can do.
Indeed, so business is business, everyone is business, but the biggest business is to mind your own business. So Ndebele, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of SIQALO podcast, where we were talking about the Africa Cup of Nations that will be starting in Cameroon. Maybe just to ask, this is away from the AFCON, how much of any impact is it, maybe especially for your players in particular, and also maybe for other local players whether in Zimbabwe, or rather for all the players in general who play football, to actually give themselves time to watch this edition of the Africa Cup of Nations that is starting in Cameroon on the 9th of January?
I think it will greatly impact the youngsters. They'll be having to see their idols, and they'll be having to see some of the things which their local coaches are telling them to do being executed by one of our own Africans in our own African continent. So that will have a huge impact, especially when them, at times telling a youngster, this is what you say, this is how you're supposed to do, this is how you're supposed to move, and then he has to see it literally, seeing it being done by our own Zimbabwean player, being done by our own African player. It will greatly impact them, and coming back, I believe they won't be the same again, because they will understand the way, the playing patterns, and how other teams they do their stuff.
Indeed, wise words there from Ndebele. So Ndebele, thank you so much for joining us. This one being the first. Hopefully on the next episode we're going to be talking about interesting results. So that was Graham Ndebele, the former Bantu Rovers player and the current coach for Las Palmas Academy, who was helping us to discuss on the Africa Cup of Nations, which is kickstarting in Cameroon on the 9th of January. So this was our first episode of the SIQALO podcast. So remember, you can interact with us on WhatsApp, on our WhatsApp number, which is 0778 140 or 0779 712 share us your views, give us those comments, and also don't forget to click like and comment on the link. So until we join you next episode, from me, Washington, aka Marasta, peace.